Basketball fans, welcome back. So the BAL playoff quarterfinals tipped off yesterday, and we had two games. And today we're going to have two more games. And in this video, I'll be talking about Ahli Tripoli versus Kriol Star, and Al Ittihad and FS Rabat. I'm going to talk about them in a next video because that one there was so much to unpack. So the Ahli Tripoli and Al Ittihad teams made it to the semis, and I must say this is a collision course, and there's a high likelihood these two teams might meet in the BAL finals. But looking at this game, Ahli Tripoli versus Kriol Star, I mean, I had predicted it. I had called it in a previous video I made talking about the classification games. I said there's no way Ahli Tripoli are going to drop a game in the quarterfinals, and they put away Kriol Star in dominant fashion, blowing them out at 26 points. So this is the first ever BAL semi-finals for Ahli Tripoli. Fabian White Jr. was the star of the evening. He had 34 points and 13 boards, a strong double-double. And that was a new BAL playoff scoring record because the BAL in-game scoring record is by Lual Aushil, and he had 45 points. So then he did that in BAL Season 4, and he was with the Al Ahly Benghazi team. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be fun. And I must say, the Al Ahly Tripoli put this Kriol Star team away very fast. And it's something that I can say I somewhat expected because Al Ahly Tripoli, they were coming off a loss against Al Ittihad, and there's no way that they will lose in the quarterfinals. And given the way they played this game, there was a point in time in this game, especially in the second half, where the Al Ahly Tripoli decided to pull away completely because both teams started off somewhat solid, but you could see the difference in class, especially when it came to Al Ahly Tripoli. So Kriol Star, we had Peter McGlynn. He left. He joined Hirunani. So there was, there was a huge gap, especially when it comes to scoring wise, and even like shooting the balls from downtown was a problem. And looking at how the Kriol Star team played, I think they already hit their ceiling with the moment they won their classification game and they made to the quarterfinals. I mean, that was it. I didn't think they would even stand a chance at even moving forward, even if they wanted to. So that was crazy. Then I saw like McGlynn had an interesting thing that he said beneath the social media post where BAL posted the graphic of Kriol Star losing to Al Ahly Tripoli. So he said, "Guess they didn't need Americans today." So that was like a subtle jab. I know. I mean, this is about 20 hours before I release this video because I'm recording this video about an hour to games tipping off in the second half of the quarterfinals. So yeah, I mean, I have had a bit of time to just sit back, compose, have some composure, check out the BAL daily. Shout out Silale, she's doing a very good job. So the Kriol Star team, they're right now they're down, but and I feel like they just hit their ceiling. And Joel Almeida, he won the Ubuntu Award, which is a feel good moment. But hey, I mean, Kriol Star, they achieved their expectations, and I didn't think this team will have even gone this far. I was expecting the Minor Sithana team to make it this far, but well, I mean, they only went 1-5 in the Nile Conference, and they didn't even make it. So Kriol Star in the Tough Star Conference, they made it, and if you look at what they did here, it was commendable. I mean, they got blown out but they got beat by the better side in here. So yeah, I mean, Joel Tambwe was the guy who led Kriol Star in scoring, and he had 25 points. Joel Almeida, he had 16 points. Jalan McLeod, he had 19. So Kriol Star, they were trying, but man, this was not their game to win, and they just got outclassed, especially with Fabian White Jr., where he scored that strong 34 points. Jalen Adams was following him with 19. Then Asemare, he had a double-double of 13 points and 13 boards. So yeah, I mean, it was tough. And Mohamed Sadi had a relatively quiet game on this one. He didn't show out like that in scoring, and he only had 4 boards in there. And John Jackie's Boise as well. He wasn't he wasn't a scoring beast or a machine like that. But hey, I mean, at least Al Ahly Tripoli will get the job done. So Al Ahly Tripoli scoring wise, They led in field goal percentage. They shot 48% from the field, 60% on 2-point field goals, and 31% from downtown. So Kriol Star really struggled, especially when it came to shooting the three ball, because in the whole game, in 24 attempts, they only sunk only 3 3-pointers. And you can see, even McGleaney came out and said, I guess they didn't need Americans this game. So that was like a subtle jab to Kriol Star, the franchise. So, yeah, I mean, Kriol Star already hit the ceiling, and I don't think they even had a shot at even beating a top-seeded team. And it was unfortunate because when they had that seventh seed, there was no escape route, because even if they tanked that game against FS Rabat, they will match up against Al Ittihad, and it will just be a similar outcome. I don't think there was any, bones about like the outcome of this one, because it's either they will have faced the number 1 seed Al Ittihad or the number 2 seed in Al Tripoli, and Al Tripoli made sure to put them away quickly. And this game was so uncompetitive to the point where at some point I found myself almost clicking off of the game. And lo and behold, man, Al Tripoli just proved everything that we needed to know. Especially they were coming off that loss to Al Ittihad, so they were so motivated to go ahead and win this game, and they went ahead to say that this is the reason as to why we're here and we want to make it to the finals. And they're one game away from making it to the finals, so they have to wait for Rivers Hoopers versus APR. The winner of that, they're going to match up against Al Tripoli. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the other bracket in the next video, because that one there's so much to unpack. So Al Tripoli, they had 45 boards, 21 assists, and 10 steals. So they were very good at that, and they only had 1 block to Kriol Stars 3. So yeah, I mean, Fabian White Jr., he was great. Nassim Badrouche, he had 7 assists in this one. John Jackie's Boyce, he only 4 assists. So I mean, the Stars, there was no point in time where there was a lack of depth, especially when it comes to Al Tripoli, because they have so many options they can go to. If it's not John Jackie's Boyce, he was coming out of the bench. He didn't have a very good game in there, because in 25 minutes he only had 11 points. He was 2 of 9. He was 5 of 6 from the free throw line. So he didn't have a very good game in there, but he didn't have to, because there's always another person on the roster who can be able to go ahead and dominate. And also Mohamed Sadi, he didn't have a good game in this one. He had a dead game of 9 points, but it didn't matter, because the star of the evening was Fabian White Jr. He was the guy who carried the team alongside Jalen Adams. So Jalen Adams was very vital. In 33 minutes, he had 19 points. He was 5 of 16, and his productivity alongside Fabian Christopher White Jr., it was the difference. And they didn't have to do too much, especially late in the game, and they tested a few lineups late in the game. They rested their stars a bit, so there was no much pressure, because the game was already decided. But on the other side, Joel Ntambwe was doing everything to try to keep Kriol Star in the game, but the other guys just didn't have the rock. I mean, Jalen McLeod tried with 19 points, but he had to play like the whole game. He played like 39 minutes, only rested for 1 minute. It was 8 of 13. By the time even the game was ending, man, he was just too tired. And Jalen McLeod had 5 turnovers. Ivan Almeida had 6 turnovers. So it was a very difficult game. Ivan Almeida had one of the worst games I've seen him have. He had 16 points on 3 of 12 shooting from the field. So he was 0-5 from downtown, and nothing was clicking. Also, Joel Almeida had a very bad game. It was 5 of 13. I mean, the Almeida brothers were really struggling in this one, and they didn't have the rock. And in every single game, especially in the postseason in BAL, every single game counts, because it's a 1-game knockout. So when you have a bad game, you're out. And you had a couple of DNPs. So we had a couple of DNPs in there. Only had one of them, and a couple of players who only played like 58, 57 seconds. I count them as DNPs, because man, they didn't do absolutely nothing. So yeah, I mean, it was tough. It was tough for Kriol Star, but all in all, this was a game that was very predictable. I can't say the game veered off what I expected, and there's nothing to I don't think there's no outcome that will have been different from what we saw. I mean, Al Tripoli are the far better side, and Kriol Star, I mean, the fact that they made the playoffs, and also considering the fact that they are mad with off-court issues, especially after the closure of the Sarah conference. They had that issue where management, there was no good remuneration of resources, and players were saying that their allowances were not there. So, even subsequently leading to McLean leaving the fray, and he was one of the main contributors, especially in their road to BAL run in Nairobi and also in the Sarah conference. He was very important. So the eventual downfall for Kriol Star, it was something that was going to happen, and we're going to see how this team operates, especially in the next road to BAL, because they have to go through road to BAL again. And I'll be keen to watch their performance because, man, this one they're able to hit a milestone that I don't think for a first time team it's something that is a small feat, because making it to the playoffs and making even the quarterfinals is no small feat, because they went through a gauntlet in the Sarah conference. They were able to grab 3 wins in the tough one, and they were able to grab the best third place team. So looking at the third place team in Kriol Star, the first team to grab the third place spot, and Al Tripoli, a team that dominated and steamrolled the Nile Conference, this was a no-brainer who's gonna win. So yeah, this is a warm-up matchup for Al Tripoli as we wait for the semis, because the semis is also gonna be fireworks. But hey, it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below. This was a far more predictable performance. I don't think there was any doubts that Al Tripoli had the game going, because they had everything going. And even on the major statistics, man, like they just checked all the boxes, man. When it came down to dominating in total rebounds, assists, steals, bench points, second chance points, fast break points, points from turnovers, they dominated in every single major statistical category, and they only had 9 turnovers in this one, so you can see how efficient they were, and they're just toying with Kriol Star. Kriol Star had 19 turnovers in this one, man. They looked bad, especially when they played in front of 2,537 people. So yeah, Kriol Star are down bad. They achieved their expectations. At least they made the BAL playoffs. It could be worse. We could be like, things could have been like my Nairobi Thunder team that even couldn't even make the postseason. They were 1 of 5 in a relatively weaker Nile conference. I can't compare it to the Sarah conference, because Sarah conference was so tough, and Kriol Star was just built different. And if you look at the stark difference between the Nairobi Thunder and Kriol Star, so the Nairobi Thunder were able to beat Kriol Star in Nairobi 2 times. The first time was a blowout. The second time was a bit close in the finals. And if you look at how differently these teams game plan for BAL, you could see Kriol Star were the eventual winners, the biggest winners, especially coming from the road to BAL, going through the Sarah conference, and they're the biggest winners because they had a better record in 6 games to the Nairobi Thunder, because Kriol Star had in 6 games they are 3-3 record, the Nairobi Thunder 1 of 5. And if you look at the type of games that Kriol Star had to win, they eked out a win against Petro de Londa, and they beat Ville Dakar twice, a team that I had decided to be one of the favorites. So yeah, it's very interesting. So this BAL postseason will be one for the books, because anything can happen, any upset can happen. And then in the next video, I'm going to be talking about Al Ittihad versus FS Rabat, a game that I was sitting on the edge of my seat. I've rewatched the game again multiple times to see what really happened before even making this video. So yeah, stay tuned to that. Stay tuned for that video as well. But I am so excited. The edge of my seat. I'm very happy, especially seeing the BAL postseason. This is the best time to watch BAL. I know the conference games can be a bit redundant to watch, but this one is a 1-game knockout. Anything can happen. There's not a huge sample size of games. There are only 6 games teams play in the regular season, but looking at how the postseason is a 1-game knockout, anything can happen, and every single game counts, and you have to only be perfect for 1 game. And yeah, the Al Tripoli are on that road to the BAL finals, and I'm not sure if they're gonna make it. They have to make it past either the Rivers Hoopers or APR. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section what you think about this. I'm gonna talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.